Now that you were able to watch the film, just kind of what stood out about the 49ers game and how do you get that corrected?
Just alignment, assignment, and execution. So that's the biggest thing that we focus on. The biggest thing that we had a problem with, just alignments, our assignment and execution. So we definitely got that corrected. And we got the men in the room who kind of corrected it right after the game and took ownership of what they needed to do and do the best thing. So we all came in on that Tuesday. And just looked at the film, graded ourselves, was hard on ourselves, and got it correct. So definitely can't wait for this next game. So
CJ talked about just how teams are attacking you. If you know that, then how do you get that shored up? Especially considering he talked about some of the games last year against Miami and Cleveland as well.
To go back to the thing, man, that we all studied, man, alignment, assignment, and executing. So we align right. We know our assignment to the best of our ability and execute to the highest level, man. I feel like we can correct those things.
And you always talk about communication as well, just the importance of that too as well.
That goes along with, man, assignment, man. Communicating all across the board, man, knowing what we got to do in our assignment and then just execute. So,
is there an element of that could be attributed to first major snaps of the season, week one, or were you kind of surprised based on kind of the returning guys that popped up so early?
Can you repeat that again?
The alignment and the assignment, is that anything to do with it being the first game, or were you surprised given kind of the guys you returned back that was an issue?
I think it was just one of those things, man, that goes back to us as a defense. We want to be a great defense. If we want to achieve the things that we know we can achieve, that we have the personnel to achieve, we got to do those things right, man, especially playing a great football team that San Fran got with amazing players on their team, on their offensive side especially. You got to line up right. You got to know your assignment. You got to execute to the highest level. So,
you talked about taking ownership, people taking ownership. Jermaine said yesterday that he kind of stood up and apologized for his comments. Like, what did that mean to you guys?
Well, it means a lot, man. Not just him, but a lot of guys in the room just taking ownership on different things they need to work on. If some guys did extremely well, like Michael Clemens played his butt off. You had Jalen Holmes play his butt off, man. But those guys know, and those guys took ownership on the bad things that they did and the negative plays that they did also. And just get things better every single day, every single week, man. So that's all that really matters, man, is getting better every single week, learning from your mistakes and not making those same mistakes again. And that's what championship teams do, and that what us as a defense did. So,
what do you see from the Titans offense?
Oh, it's unbelievable, man. You got guys up front, man, who's running off the ball. You got J.C. Latham, a rookie who's dominating the run game, man, the dominant left tackle from especially his first game of preseason also. So you got Tony Pollard, a guy that played at Cowboys who runs the ball extremely well also, and a great running team also too. So.
Well, what about Will Levis? Just what stands out about him?
Oh, he's amazing, man. He can make all the throws, man. He got a strong arm, man, and he's physical. When it comes down to making the big plays and running people over, you can see that he has no fear on that field, man. And a guy like that at quarterback reminds me a lot of Josh Allen, a guy who also plays the game with no fear and want to make the explosive plays. So it's going to be a great challenge also. So.
There were a lot of reasons. That was a really tough week one matchup, so maybe an obvious question, but how do you set the tone for the kind of team that you are and tell the league who you guys really are this week?
By winning football games. I think that's the biggest thing that everybody cares about. That the only thing that really matters, man, wins and losses. We could have had a dominant performance for week one, but if we would have lost, it would still mean if we would have if we would have lost, it would have still been the same way. So cleaning up everything and winning football games is how you turn things around in the building and how you turn things around for your confidence level in general. So winning football games is the main thing that matters. So.
How close, if at all, did you feel that the pass rush was on Mondays to just kind of reaching that next step and sort of causing some chaos in the backfield?
I think we got to stop the run first, man. You have to earn the rush to pass. So you got to stop the run first, and we didn't stop the run first, so we didn't earn the opportunity to rush the passer. So our first thing foremost is to stop the run. So.
You guys have been such a good defense over the last couple of years, and I think a lot of people were surprised by that on Monday night. So I'm wondering, what's the mindset now as you turn the page in the defensive line room in particular?
Right. I mean, that's just not our standard. That's not the norm of us, and nevertheless, we put that on tape, right? So we got to go out the next week and put that to bed pretty quick, which I have full confidence that we'll do.
what gives you the full confidence that you're going to get back on track this week?
Because all of everything and how they were breaking those runs, credit to them. They have very talented players on that side of the ball, but all those things, those are all scheme and technique things. It's not a lack of talent. And that's why I say I'm very confident, because the character of guys we have in this locker room, character of myself, I get to watch film. I understand what I can fix, what I can do better to make sure that's put to bed.
You look at the team you're going to be going up against, Tennessee. The one thing they did well on offense was run the ball.
Right.
So what challenges do they present? And is it just your own course corrections this week, or what changes?
Nah, that's definitely. Just watching the film is. I'll speak for myself. That's just technique-wise, angling-wise, is giving the offense easier way to kind of capture the edge, especially on myself. I'll speak for, but just understanding that if I fix the techniques, fix a couple angles, things, alignments, stuff like that, that I'll protect the defense and my edge that much better.
What are your impressions of Will Levis?
He's a talented athlete and can throw the ball pretty well, but just watching film and just understanding some things about him, especially when he comes out, he's one of those guys that kind of, when things aren't going his way, he kind of can panic a little early, and just understanding how we can get him to that point as a defense and kind of how we can capitalize off of that. So just understanding how we're going to go throughout the week, understanding that what we can do on defense to make sure that we win this game.
I'm sure you saw his interception at this point, which he admitted was a boneheaded play.
Yeah.
I think it's a meme now, but what did you think when you saw the replay of that?
Honestly, he's a passionate guy, a passionate player. He doesn't want to let his team down, and in that thought process, he's not trying to take a sack for his team and just tries to get the ball out. And it's just, he can call it boneheaded, but there's a lot of things you can call it. There's passion in it. He was trying to do it for the right reasons, but at the same time, some of the the best things you can do is not do anything at all and just take what's coming your way. And it probably would have been better for him to take the sack, but like I said, he was trying to do it for the right reasons. Sometimes just better to take the sack.
Aaron was up here talking about preaching patience and trusting the process, but the numbers, if you start the season 0-2 when it comes to making the playoffs, are just not good historically. Yeah. So what's the mindset going into this week about getting a win?
Just want to know every week. That's our goal. Obviously, we didn't get that done this past week, but it's a new week. The goal's to go 1-0 this week.
What was the film session like? I know, obviously, it wasn't the most pleasant one, and overall, just where do you think the what do you think the mindset of the defense is right now?
It just wasn't our standard. Obviously you get embarrassed, whatever. It's out there. It is what it is. Now, how are you going to take it? Are you going to be a finger pointer or a thumb pointer? And that's something I take very seriously. And that was the first thing I said. I stood up. I'm sorry, y'all. I let y'all down. The edges were not what they should have been on my part. And all I can do is be a thumb pointer, look at film, see how I can fix it. And that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm pretty sure every guy in this locker room is doing.
Those moments when Aaron has the ball in the free plays, do you just know something's gonna happen if they let the play run through like that?
Yeah, when they jump offside, I'm just thinking touchdown, and what's the easiest path to get there, and the middle of the field is wide open, and so I just took it.
Does that also play into your chemistry with Aaron, that you need to throw your hand up and he needs to find you kind of thing?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time.
He talked about the block. I think on the touchdown run, he said that's the Allen we know and love, him being grimy and everything like that. Is there a difference this year for you, or I know you talked about it in camp, but what's the difference now that these plays we're seeing them?
Aaron Rodgers.
It's that simple.
Yep. It's pretty simple.
Is that a conscious return on your part to try to make more of those grimy plays this year? Or do you feel like you did that last year? I guess Aaron noticing that?
Yeah, I'm going to every game, whether it be this year, last year, or previous years. I'm just doing whatever I can to help the team win. So if it means blocking, if it means catching touchdowns, if it means running off the safety to open it up, I'm all about it.
Nathaniel Hackett said this morning that one of the keys is going to be improving third down conversions. How do you work on that?
How do you work on third down conversions?
Yeah.
Practicing, I would say, getting looks in practice, kind of anticipating what they do. Obviously, we don't know what they're going to do. Last week, I think they ran a different coverage every single third down versus the Bears and everything. So, it's hard to kind of anticipate what they're going to do in those situations. So, I mean, we've been practicing, obviously, all camp and OTAs versus different coverages against a very good defense. And at the end of the day, they can only do so many coverages, and man-to-man is man-to-man. So, yeah, we should go out there and execute.
How quickly did you turn the page on last season? Like, was it January and it was over?
Sure. Yeah, I don't really think too much of it, I guess, and just we'll just focus on the next game, whether if it was still in season, and once the season was over, I'll just focus on putting myself in the best position to be successful this year.
Was there a point in training camp when you kind of found that you were getting to rhythm at some point, as far as like that getting that connection back with Aaron, and just maybe you with your route running? Was there like a turning point in camp, do you feel like?
There's not one day that sticks out, I would say.
Here with Sauce Gardner. Sauce, last week when the Jets took on the 49ers, Jordan Mason was able to get a lot of yards on the ground. Now this week against the Titans, you guys are facing running back Tony Pollard. What are some of the challenges that this defense faces with kind of stopping the run, specifically with him?
I mean, Tony Pollard, we played him last year. He's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just him. They got Tajay Spears. I believe I played him in college, if he's the one that went to Tulane, I want to say. You know, so they got two pretty good backs, you know, who are very agile, you know, who can put the ball on the ground and run the ball, and you know, very explosive, have great contact balance and stuff like that. But, you know, we're just going to keep working.
What about quarterback Will Levis for the Titans? What do you see from his game when you've been reviewing some tape this week?
I mean, he got some pretty good receivers around him, you know, so that just makes his job easier. Obviously, he threw that interception against the Bears, but it's like, you know, stuff like that happens, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people was just downplaying them because of that specific play, but, like, they was up the majority of the game, and, you know, that was just, like, one mistake. Everybody make mistakes, you know, and, yeah, but I'm looking forward to the challenge because it's definitely going to be a challenge. You know, they got D-Hop, Calvin Ridley, he was my favorite receiver in high school. When I used to play receiver in high school. Treylon Burks, they got, what's his name, Tyler Boyd, Westbrook as well. So, like, they got guys all around them. So, you know, I'm looking forward to that challenge.
What's the difficulty when a group has as big and as deep of a wide receiver room that you just named, that each has kind of a different skill set in and of themselves?
I don't really know. You know, the guys that we have in our room, we love to compete. You know what I'm saying? We love challenges. So I'm not just gonna sit up here and say it's a difficulty. Obviously, you know, that's a lot of pretty good receivers. You know, and they all impose their own separate challenges. But you know, we love competing and we're looking forward to it.
I know there have been a lot of things that each member of the defense has kind of called out as something that they want to improve from week 1 to week 2. What is that specific thing that you're focusing on this week?
It's a good question. I know I had like 2 missed tackles after I made the Debo tackle, you know, on that reverse. You know, so just tackling, communicating, flying around, you know, making plays on the ball whenever the ball come out. It's really the same thing, the same stuff. I don't really overemphasize stuff, you know, because I always work on everything, all the base fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Awesome. Appreciate the time, Sauce.
Yeah, appreciate it.